Ah, ha, ha. 6 6s. Ah, welcome, you scallywags. Today we're speaking of proper maintenance of firearms. This is a disassembled firearm known as a smooth bore or a rifled barrel. Now, I do have the rifled barrels right here. This is a 45 caliber. Now, you need to keep these very clean. Now, you cannot be continuously firing these without a good cleaning. This is a flintlock assembly. It is all put in one piece. This right here is the pan. You fill the pan with ground down black powder. Now, if it is too thick, it does not ignite properly and it does not go into the touch hole. This right here is the flint. This right here is known as the frism, where the flint is struck to the frism, which is a hardened kind of a steel. In back, you have your mainspring, and you have right here, this is what makes it go. Once you push up on the trigger assembly, it goes off. So if I were to pull back all the way like so, and I were to, there you go. That's how that works. Now here is the trigger assembly. If you notice, all it is a little bar that moves up and down. That hits this right here. This is the touch hole. Now that's where the flame goes down the barrel, igniting the gunpowder. This sits right next to it, so it travels down through. This is an example of what a smooth bore handgun is. Now, if you notice, it is smooth. It's nothing but a tube. Now, this would have been the more popular type of weapon back then. It would have been a smooth bore, but same principles, which you have a pan, a flint, a frism, and there's the touch hole. But if you notice, this is a much bigger hole than a rifled hole. Now, this is what the business is. This is the 45 caliber ball that would go into here, into the barrel. And now you notice it's pretty tight in there. But once you put a small piece of cloth around it, it becomes a little bit tighter, and that's what you want. This is the flint without being in the jaws of the lock. If you notice, it is a very sharp rock, and it takes years of experience to get them that perfect. Now, in order to fire your flintlock, you would take rolling tobacco and pre-measure your black powder, because in the haste, you don't want to put too much or too little. This right here has a ball at the end, or you could put small balls of BBs. Now, this one right here, for safety measures, is pre-measured, but without any kind of ball in it. No BBs or ball. Now, in order to fire this is a Kentucky pistol flintlock. It is a 45 caliber, and here is your ramrod. Now, the ramrod is to secure your ball and your powder, but today we're only going to attempt to fire powder. Now, what you would do is you would take your pre-measured black powder. You would normally, what you would do is you open it up on one side and you would drop the powder in. Now, if you see, it's all gone. Then you would take your ramrod and you would go ahead and ram it down the barrel. Secondly, you would put it back, securing that it is in. Now, if you notice, there is still no powder left, and you would be very careful to keep it on the non-shooting position, which is called the half cock. Then this is what they call a more fine powder. So you would take your finer powder and you would drop it into your pan. Now, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, these firearms back in the day weren't always 100% successful in firing, especially during rainy times or high humidity. So you would put down the dog ear, you would give it a little tap. Hopefully some of that fine powder goes down your touch hole. You bring back to the firing position. You take your gun. There you go. That's simple. Why did we do this? Why did we sail the 7 seas of the world? Well, I'll tell you ladies and gentlemen. It was for only one thing: silver and gold. This right here is a piece of 8 you might have heard of. Now, this one is from the 1600s, very expensive in modern times. It's called the Diego. You find one, give it to me. Very well, ladies and gents and scallywags. Goodbye.